Good morning, party people. So today is Saturday. It's been a bit of a crazy week, so I haven't done a lot of work on the car or filming or anything like that. I worked on making some seat brackets for this seat during the week, and it was kind of just not going well, so I didn't really get a chance to film anything. Monday, I was waiting for a guy to deliver my new roof, and he ended up coming, so I didn't really do anything that day, so I didn't film anything. Tuesday, he came, dropped off the roof. I had to run home because of something. I don't remember what it was, but the new roof is inside. The roof is right here. I think I have a picture. This is the new roof. So today, and then Wednesday, Thursday, I was just working on cutting up those brackets for that seat. Didn't really do a whole lot. So today we're gonna work on getting this roof off. I have to get the other glass off, which is gonna be a pain. So I will be filming intermittently on what we're doing, how we're gonna cut it off, and what the plan is. So we'll be back. All right, party people. So I have separated the top edge. It's taking forever. I'm hitting this thing around the edge while pulling this this is kind of pulling it apart, so that as I'm wiggling this back and forth, sorry, it's hot, it's kind of pulling it. Let me see if I can get a little bit of footage of me doing this. Okay. Okay. I'm just cutting through the last part, and I was about to pull it off, and I was like, wait. So I think I cut all the way through. Okay. I didn't break it. All right, party people. So windows cut out. Both windows are cut out now. We're gonna mark the roof up, but my dad is watching his dog. He needs to help me with that because he's a lot more focused on details than I am. I will just cut it and then be like, I messed up, I cut it too much. So I have to weld up the rest of this tubes. I'll do that real quick. All right, so we're gonna get started on the roof right now. Have the roof there. We're gonna mark the edges so that we know where to cut. Probably mark it a few times before we cut it. Hopefully cut it in the right place. These are the templates for the roof, so it's marked on all the edges as I move it here and here. So we're gonna cut this line so that we can put it on the roof and then mark it and then cut it off. All right, so we've been cutting the roof off of everything. This piece was giving us a little bit of a hiccup because up on front over here it wasn't lining up. Everything else lined up pretty good, but this piece wasn't lining up, and this seemed like it was holding us up. So we're gonna drop it down one more time, see, hopefully it's a little bit closer. The roof isn't really doing anything. It's merely just so we have a roof. When we flipped the car, the roof, dented in and literally dented around the cage. So we have a bar in the middle of the cage that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting if we flip the car, which hopefully we never do again. But yeah, so we're gonna test fit it right now, and then I'll let you guys know how it looks. Okay, so I just finished painting the roof. We got everything sanded down. He's sanding right now. So just briefly, we will get this roof on the car, welding, and then I'll show you some stuff there. So this side is all welded up here, And up here, the front is welded too. I'm not welding on the inside right here because this is purely just aesthetic and sheet metal sucks to weld for me. So up here has been ground down and you'll never know. So I'm gonna go back to the other side. Well, it took 1 million tacks of weld in a very slow process, but the new roof is on. It looks pretty good. Hopefully the new windshield going back to glass will fit. Yeah, I gotta eat something. It's lunchtime a couple hours ago, so I'm gonna eat and then I'll be back and we'll look at what's on next on the docket. All right, party people, it is 5:30. We have game night tonight with some of our neighbors. We ended up figuring out a really cool method to get these brackets just tacked in for now. These are aluminum and everything else is steel, so normally I just weld the brackets directly onto the base plates because I'm tall, which is why we had to do this in the first place. So what I ended up doing was running some tech screws into these, bolting them to the seat, and then while I was sitting in the seat I tacked them down, and then when I got up they held enough to where I could just tack them so that they were even better. So gonna clean up for the day. Super good day. We got the roof on. The rear of the car is 99% done. I have to weld on, just finish some welds on these base little side plates, and then tomorrow I can paint the rear, get everything mounted, finish the seat, get it mounted. I have to make a new plate for right here to make this a little bit stiffer because last year it was very wobbly. But a super great Saturday. My dad helped me, which was awesome. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will check back in with you guys on Sunday for the last little bit of fun before I probably tell you guys about the surprise next week. Not the surprise, but like the cool thing that I'm doing next week. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, party people, it is 8 a.m. Sunday. Today is my last day working on this car for a week. I'll tell you guys why at the end of this video, but got a little new gimbal so that I can try to record more of what's going on. Plan for today is to get the rear end finished and welded first thing, let it cool down while I'm working on the front so that I can paint the rear and get the fuel cell, the AccuSump, and everything back in the car. AccuSump is destroyed, so might put it back in the car, might just put the mounts in the car. That way it's being held in place, and then when we get the new one we can put the new one in. Yeah, I'll get the car unwrapped and we'll get started. So now you guys can follow me wherever I go and I'm doing cool stuff. So get the car cover off. I'm back. So this is what I have to finish in there, these welds along here, and then this base plate over here too. So I'm gonna get that started right now. This is all welded up already down here, and then we'll be able to let this dry, paint it, go from there. All right, kids, so just finished welding up the rear end. We are now putting in bolts into all the holes so that when I paint it, none of the holes get messed up in the threads. And after this, we'll let it dry for a little bit, come back, paint it up. Should be pretty good. All right, so we're all good. Gotta get the welder out towards the front of the car so that we can finish welding up the frame rails, the seat rails, sorry. All right, so last night I got these tacked in and this tacked in. I just ran some tech screws in here because I don't have a 1/4 thread drill tap. So I'm gonna weld this in, this front bar, because this bar has to be here because this is where the old support was. Get the seat in here, make sure it's pretty good, And then back here, I have to trim the underside of this bar because see how pitched it is? It's supposed to be a lot lower. So we'll get this welded in. And I don't really want to make a lot of noise before at least 10, maybe 11. So we'll get this tacked in, maybe clean up in here, and then we'll go from there. All right, party people. So we are just bolting in the pieces that go on the back of the car on the new bash bar. It will be the AccuSump, oil cooler, fuel cell, battery, all in this new doodad. I was working on the seat bracket, and the piece of metal that I was cutting and grinding got really hot, so I jumped back here real quick so I can show you guys how everything looks now. The paint that I had was really old, but from afar and for a race car, it looks great. So we'll get this bolted up on here and we'll kind of go from there. I needed to make some spacers for the oil cooler. So I bought these plates, which you could probably just saw. So my bash bar will get bolted right here. It's gonna go this way. Same on the other side. So I ended up just cutting up one of those plates because the square or the hole for it was like perfect size to use as a washer here. So progress, 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 progress. And today, as I mentioned, is our last day here. So for a week. So we want to try to get as much done as we possibly can. So you guys, if you do watch and you're like, hey, you suck at this, you should do this instead, or try this, or film this way, please tell me, because it's something I really wanted to do for a long time. And I finally decided to, filming, sorry, is what I wanted to do for a long time. And I finally decided to do it. But if somebody's going to take the time to watch, I'd like them to enjoy it. So if you want more footage of me working on the car, I can definitely try. I also thought, it'd be cool to show everybody kind of, people always ask, oh, I want to build a race car. I want to be in hot pit, or I want to drive in Formula Drift. Do you just have a shop or a mechanic, or how do you get started? I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to set you guys up somewhere cool. People are like, oh, I want to build a race car, and how do I get started? And do you guys have people working on your cars? I don't. I do everything myself. My dad helps me. My wife helps me. My buddy Wesley helps me. But for the most part, everyone that I know builds their car themselves. There's people that got money. That's awesome. But I don't have that kind of money. So it is what it is. But also when my car breaks or something's not working, I know where everything is. I know where all the, if it's an oil issue, I know where the cooler is. I know where how the engine works because I took it apart, put it back together. So both ways have their perks. The other way lets you have time to do other things. This way, you probably won't have time to do anything else. Because next thing you know, it's the next event. And you're like, well, I was hoping to take a week off or a month or something, but the car always needs something on it. So it's just something to think about. There's the dudes that just drive for fun. That's super cool. If you want to do that, it's definitely a good idea. But to do it at the higher level, it's basically your whole life. This is our cool, thanks to Evil Energy, was one of my partners. They sent us out some fittings that we needed. So this is a full flow 90. So the inside of it is a full 10 AN. Sometimes, metal on my knee. Sometimes the 10 AN or any 90 can kind of get smaller. So this is a full size. This is a fitting for pressure gauge, which it's nice to have a mechanical gauge so that way we know everything's working properly. My check valve, a coupling, a T, not a full flow 90 because we're limited on space. So even though these might look like they're the same length, this is a little bit shorter. And then a temperature gauge. So this guy bolts right here, like this. That way we can see if the digital oil pressure gauge is showing 0 and this is showing 60, then we know we just have an issue with the gauge, or something from back here to the engine is going wrong. Maybe there's a leak in the line, but this is how it looks. And if you see there, we're pretty limited on space. That's why we needed as much space as possible. The oil filter is, of course it went the wrong way, is right here. So let me get that bolted up and I'll come back to you. All right, party people. I think I found a good spot for that. Might be a little wobbly, but battery tray is in. Oil cooler is in. I'm gonna work on getting the fuel cell and the battery, actual battery in. So we're just prepping the surface. You guys ever see me doing something weird when I'm welding? Feel free to tell me, but I learned how to weld from YouTube. So if you can tell me nicely, that'd be cool, because I don't know that much about welding other than the little bit that I learned on YouTube. But I will say, never had a weld fail. And I made this cage and this car flipped over. So, I get, that some stuff needs to be super, super clean and everything should be minty fresh, clean and all this, but it's my race car. Nothing in here is clean. Everything is as clean as it can be and as good as it can be. I think I can just put in one screw, but I need to put it in because the back plate, I just realized, has a little bit of wiggle in it left to right, and I want to make sure that when it gets welded down, it is welded in the proper orientation. It's all tacked up. I'm gonna weld it up and show you guys the final product. All right, party people. So we have this unit all welded in. I didn't weld the whole thing because I didn't think it needed it, considering that normally it's bolted in 4 spots. I'm gonna finish up some welds, just a couple of them, but I have my 5-point that's gonna go somewhere right here. So I gotta get that location real quick, then I can weld this in at the same time. We can see. This unit is right there. So very close. All right, I'm gonna take this out, weld this in, and then we'll check back in for one last time on this seat. All right, party people, there it is. Bracket is all welded in. These are just tech screws for now. We're gonna get the 1/4-20 tap that. It's welded back here where it can be. Back there it's welded a lot way more. Like I said, it's way sturdier than it used to be. because it used to just be like that. That's what you get from companies. It's just a piece of 1/8 inch metal, and this is 1/8 inch thick tubing welded all the way around. So that's good for now. I'm going to clean up a little bit, try to paint. Oh my god, try to paint in here, get this situated, vacuum everything up, weld up a little bit more so that I can get out of here and go home to get ready. All right, party people, everything is dialed up, dialed in, put back together. So this is the 2F Performance fenders with the taillights. This is the regular trunk. I cut it, or the hatch, so that it's just a trunk now. But these can stay bolted and this can all move together. I want to make a fiberglass version of this, but I don't know if I'll have time. Up here, all of our good bits and bobs. We've also got a good amount of room. From there, the taillights are just kind of ran jinkily right now. Fuel cell looks good. Gonna make a new piece of Lexan for here. Ow. So this is pretty sturdy. Might need to be a little more flimsy, but that's good. In here, the passenger seat is in, driver seat's mounted. While I'm away, my dad is going to mill some slots into the mounting brackets for my seat, because, let me show you where the seat bracket is. I need my harness to be able to slit through here. So we're gonna take it out to this black line right here, and then there's a black line down here if you can see it. So it'll go like that. That way the mount can also sit flush up against the seat. So this week's over. Roof's on, seat bracket is made. The rear is relatively complete, so that was everything that I really wanted to get done this week. Next week, I'm not in town. I might say why later in this video, or this video is going to end here. So when we get back, we have something coming for the car that should be here by the time I get back, which is going to be awesome. Announce that partnership for next year. And yeah, we'll get working on wrapping the car, putting that thing in. We got a new diff for next year. We have a weird performance diff, which is pretty cool. Bought it secondhand from Kula. We'll get that in, do our 350Z axle swap, pick up our axles from Wesley, and go to Wesley's, do my new steering rack, new oil pan, and my power steering pump will hopefully be back by then. We can start the car, drive it around Wesley's, and see how it feels. So, thank you guys again for watching. If you guys do have any ideas of wanting to see more things, if you are watching this, I really appreciate it. If there's anything that you want to see specifically on what I do with my car, like I mentioned, a lot of people think, oh, you're drifting, you have a shop, you have all these things. No, this is how I work on the car all the time. This is what I have. This is the space. I'm very fortunate to have the space that I have, but it is very limited compared to a lot of the guys that you see with a big old shop and lifts and all these things. So you don't need to have a crazy you don't need to have a crazy shop to build a car. You just need YouTube. No, you just need a little bit of effort. It's going to take you a minute. It's going to take some time, but if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. So thanks for watching. Might see you again. If not, I'll see you guys next week.